Oop, I need to change Marina. Oops. Be gone, fish princess. Change to fry pan lady once I can find her picture. There you go. There we go. Back to fry pan lady. Woo. Okay. We should be live now. Yep, sounds like we are live. Also, weirdly enough, a issue with the Twitch app is that if you go live and you check your own stream, it attempts to make you cheer in your chat, but you can't cheer in your own chat, so it locks you into a separate screen, so you can't text while on your own stream.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a issue specifically with iOS app.
Huh.
Yeah. It's weird, but so if anybody is planning on doing some streams and checking your own content like I do, be aware. Alright. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be continuing the tale of Shifting Fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. And as always, a huge shout out to our $3 patron, Pastry Boy Fritter. If you guys would like to also join our Patreon, be shout out our videos, as well as help with various different things, such as creating NPCs, their backstories, their races, their classes, the towns they're in, or even creating up to a BBEG, feel free to go to our Patreon and look at the different tiers, as each tier gives you different things. When you're on our Patreon, you're also allowed to see our content a week ahead, in terms of our writing content. So all of my fanfiction writings, all the other books I'll be creating and stuff like that in the future as well. You guys be able to see that a week ahead, as I'll be posting it probably somewhere, not sure yet. So feel free to check that stuff out if you guys are interested. We also have a Discord. You guys can check that out too, because it actually shows you all of our events more or less on time. We also tell you if things ever change. Oh, speaking of, I should make an announcement inside the Discord chat as well. But yeah, hi, I'm here with Wally, Oliver, Ellie, Rowena, and Averin. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Okay. Sorry, I just sent that post. Alright, so last we left off, you guys have been doing some exploring, you guys have been maneuvering around, you guys talked with Bloodfang for the first time. Weirdly enough, he had an axe instead of a sword, which you guys were expecting the sword. You guys aren't entirely sure if that is the weapon of doom that was referenced, if it has changed shape, which none of the weapons have been referred to as changing shape with the exception of the fourth one, or if it simply changes shape after it starts in combat. You guys are not sure, but it is something of note that you guys saw previously. You guys interacted with them. We're told that the group is getting antsy and they are going to march soon. You guys have convinced them, mostly with Bill's help and a little bit of Ellie's, to wait, and they have given you 1 month before they start their march forwards. The march itself, based on your guys' general assumptions, will take around 2 weeks in order to get to across the Trailblade tiers. Rowena, your character has disappeared from the main group. You told them you were going to go scouting. As you're walking forward, as we referenced in, I believe, 2 episodes ago, you're going to go over and talk to a necromancer. Now, we did this part inside of DMs because it was a little bit faster to get done, and it's not as important as the part afterwards. So effectively, you pretty much told him that, you want him to help out, because he wants to win the war, maybe not necessarily for to win, but to make it so Paylor doesn't win. What you're doing right now will potentially be upsetting the balance between things. It may make it so Paylor might lose. It may have a little bit of difficulty, and the favor itself specifically is to create Bloodtooth's wife and child, a duplication of them raising 2 undeads, pretty much molding them together. And he told you that you are correct in that he does not want Paler to win, even if Shar doesn't have preference. He has his own free will. And such, he has decided he will actually help you. The undead that you will be interacting with will have a basic understanding of things. They will be effectively your thrall. They will be visually indistinguishable from the two that you have requested they be. And they will essentially follow any order that you give them. However, he gives you one and only one term, request or definition to this favor, and that is that you are very specifically not allowed to touch the two bodies. If you do, he says they will end very badly. They will harm you in some way, shape, or form. He tells you that he wants you to not touch them because he does not want you to die from them. He makes this very clear that if you touch them, you can die from them. And if you're going to complete your goal, he wants to make sure that you are able to complete your goal. So that is the exchange, is that he will help you do this, possibly out of out of the goodness of his own heart, you would say. But you're not allowed to touch them. They will follow your orders, they'll move around with you wherever they want, but you are not allowed to touch them at all. And then essentially, at that point, he makes them, he molds them, crafting flesh, changing how they look, all that fun stuff. And then he just leaves. He just nods to you and just walks away. Deal's done, things been made, and he just leaves. So now you have two thralls. They look identical to
Okay.
Big Mama and her son.
Right.
So I'm assuming you're going to take your long rest, or?
Yes, but before we do that, just to make sure, like, in case something happens in between, immediately I'm going to be like, you only answer to me, okay? No matter what you're asked, like, just answer to me. And if I ask them anything pertaining to the war, including Bloodtooth and their family and everything, like, don't answer. Just stay silent.
They both nod to you.
Okay. And then I say, you can go sit over there, and I'll point to a specific tree. Like, stay there. And I'm gonna stay over here and take a little rest. And then afterwards, we're gonna go meet who we need to.
Cool. All right. That is.
And she'll set up cordon of arrows.
Ooh.
How far around does that go?
Nice. So you do set that stuff up fairly easily. You are inside of the pine forests, the orc pine forests, so not a whole lot is around here. There are a couple of dangers, but you are well hidden enough that they don't matter that much. You're also somewhat irritating targets to go for rather than the easy hunt of the tundra. So you're pretty much safe where you are. And so you take your long rest, nothing disturbs the arrows, they sit down, and they don't move at all. Oddly enough, they're also not breathing. Well, oddly, because they look like the people you've seen breathing, but they are undead, so it doesn't really look like they're breathing that much. It's very unnerving, you would say. But they just kind of sit there and stare at you for your entire rest. But you take the full long rest. While you take this full long rest, actually, because you're taking this about the same time that the group is, we're going to move over to the group real quick. So, you guys have just, dealt with Bloodfang. You guys are, no, it is Bloodtooth in this world. You guys just dealt with Bloodtooth. You guys are interacting with the people, around you. You guys are planning to go to the dwarven area, and you guys are starting to get ready to sleep. You're setting up your tents and everything like that. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you get your long rest in?
Nothing immediately comes to mind aside from Ollie is probably getting to start on the chaotic alchemy we just got done rolling for.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
will tell everyone what that it was that we got as soon as the rest is over.
Cool. So he starts setting up his alchemy, kind of gets into his own space, writes out his role, starts focusing heavily on that, pretty much making sure nothing explodes. Averin, Ellie?
Not that I know of. Pretty sure Averin is mostly just chilling about now.
Okay. So you're just kind of laying down and stuff like that. What about you, Ellie? Ellie?
Maybe having to type it, possibly.
It's possible.
She's dead.
Well, I'm going to assume that Ellie's just kind of...
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Ellie is just going to hang around and make sure everything's good for the camp. She knows that Marina wandered off and may or may not be back soon, and same with Bill. So
Bill's still there for the most
hang
part.
out. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
She's just gonna hang out.
Okay. Jackson's
Yeah.
going to probably walk around with you, set things up, probably make a stew, and then you all kind of lay down, trying to get some rest. The day has been rough. You guys all kind of rest, except for you, Oliver. You're just kind of staring at your concoction, trying to make sure it doesn't blow up while your attention's focused on it. Bill, my good sir.
Yes.
What are you doing? So everyone else is kind of drifting off.
Well, given Bill sleeps in his bag, he'd probably be pretty quickly in his bag that night.
Okay.
And when he notices it gets really quiet and he knows that people are either sleeping or half sleeping, because half elf. I know you have to meditate at some point. Both of you.
Full elf and half elf.
Bill would get out of his bag, leave a note, and quietly saunter off.
Okay. What do you bring with you?
My bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
But I leave behind the big bag, the bagpipes, and well, the bread basket that's been in there for since the Citadel.
I'm surprised you haven't shoved that into your bag of holding.
Ellie's going to protect the bagpipes.
Just he leaves those things.
No.
Let's see, anything else? Oh, yes, I do leave one more thing. The fern-lined coat on top of the bag.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I'm gonna break attunement with that.
I'll remove 2 AC from you as well.
Yeah. But in the meantime, let's see. And sorry, I'm realizing. But yeah, that's what he leaves behind.
Okay.
Because that's kind of all he's really got. That he doesn't really need the red lined coat at the moment. So
okay, so he leaves all that stuff, and you start sauntering off.
In the
you
moment
start
I get about, I would say, probably 200 feet away. That's when Bill would break into a full-fledged sprint.
Damn. Okay. Would you like to tell me where Bill is going?
The trail.
Yeah. So you all are in your, deep sleep, or in terms of Averin, your meditative state, which is very interesting for most people in your party. You've never seen Averin sleep. No one's ever seen her sleep.
Yeah.
But Bill takes off. You guys are all sleeping, except for Averin, who's meditating, but effectively sleeping. And of course, Oliver focusing on his stuff. So not a single one of you knows that he leaves. He's very quiet. He disappears. And he starts booking it. Now, the distance between you guys and the trail is normally about a day or two walk. This boy is running, sprinting hard as he can. So instead of it being about a day or two walk, it instead takes him 8 straight hours of running. All the way there. And he fucking pounds the pavement. And after those 8 hours, which after about 4 of them, I believe Averin would, air quote, wake up, would come out of the meditation. And I believe Ellie, after 6 hours, would do effectively the same. And you guys might not notice that he's gone, because usually he's in his bag for like 8 hours or so. So after about the 8 hours, you guys would notice. But he gets all the way to the Trail of Blade Tears. What do you do when you get there?
Well, first he would catch his breath for a second.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Fucking hurt.
And once he gets there, finds a tall hill and yells for Loki.
Okay. Feel free to roll me a d20 real quick. Damn. Okay then. Wow.
Yeah, that checks out.
It really does. All right. So,
Nice.
goddamn. Okay. So, 2 things happen. One, you scream out for Loki. Do you do it in Celestial or do you do it in normal?
It's Celestial. Very aggressive Celestial, I'll point out.
So you shout out for Celestial. I assume this is like very aggressive, but it's also like, I want to say tired.
Probably.
All right. So you shout out to him. You shout out to the heavens. And again, because it's Ryoto, it is gray. There's no real dark. There's no real light. It's like very dark clouds above you. Everything is rolling skies and all that. And then descends Loki. And he cuts through the cloud layer. And his wing beats shove a lot of the clouds away to some degree, letting in a very small amount of light to some degree as it shines down upon you. And he slowly descends. The second thing that happens is that you feel a presence behind you.
Bill would look behind him.
You
He's
look
not
behind.
someone who's gonna just ignore that.
You look behind you, and you see the old, tired, and worn out face of your old master, leaning on his cane. It's been a long time, Bill.
Master Odin.
I see you brought your friend down.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Eventually...
Bill just stares at him quietly.
After a few minutes, Loki finally hits the ground. It takes him a few minutes because he's so big that the wind pressure is hard to get through. And he finally hits the ground, and he lowers his head down to see the two of you. And you do see a sliver of recognition in his eyes as he looks at Odin. And Odin nods to him, and he kind of nods, but in the way of like blinking his eye, because him actually nodding would not be the most pleasant wind in the world. And Loki says, "You have called, boy."
Yeah. I have a plan, I think. But I don't know if it'll work. But for that plan to semi-work, I need your help. Your actual, like, physical help and not weird magic voodoo.
Ah. How can I help you?
I need you I need you to make the Trail of Bloody Tears untrespassable.
Why should I?
You want to fight Paylor and Shar, right?
Indeed, they might kill me.
Well, screw with their game. They screw with you.
Oh, tantalizing offer. And what would you be doing while I blockade this path?
Screwing with the elves. Trying to prevent the orcs. If the two pawns in this game of chicken can't combat each other, the moment we can make it to where they can't for a little while, I'm gonna dive headfirst into that big old hole.
See your master kind of kneel down next to you. Very slowly, mind you. It looks like he's very weak. But he kind of kneels down next to you and gently puts his hand on your shoulder. And he just goes, "My poor, poor friend. What has happened to you?"
I don't know. Bill lifts up his missing hand, grabs his hand, and slowly moves it off. 15 years, I guess, of nothingness.
I'm so sorry, my boy.
It's not
I did
your
not
fault.
mean to leave you for so long.
Well, it's not your fault. I know that much.
I was forced to be away from you, but it was not something that I had great issue with at the time. I've been alive for longer than most can know. I am so sorry you've had to go through this.
Sorry? No. Sorry. You... I don't want to be mad, but I am. You... 15 years, Master. 15 years of nothing. Not even an attempt? I know you could. You're strong enough. I've seen what you can do. You could have at least sent something. You're smart enough. You always have the answer. And now I'm taking your place and trying to figure this out.
It is a hard path. You do not need to, child.
No, I need to. I can't just leave the people who are trying to actually solve this by themselves. I don't even think they could have without me at this point.
You have grown up quite a ways.
15 years of constantly being drunk and listening to every spirit in the nearby area scream at you does that to a person.
I spent the equivalent of what would be 80 years in there.
Sounds about right, I think. If I don't... I was kind of going through that looking semi for you. By the way, Loki,
Yes.
may have an idea of how to get you to transport through the plains. If you
You
live...
have done well for a bird, boy.
It won't come without its prices.
Everything comes with a price.
But
Your master kind of nods as he slowly stands up. It was quiet in that world.
What
Here is
quiet?
not.
What does that mean? Quiet.
In that world, there were no voices. There was nothing. It was just that meadow that we used to be in. A small clearing, small forest clearing. And I sat. Just the sound of the wind through the trees for 80 years.
For you was 80 years. I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you stop?
Stop what?
This. I read the book on Celestial. I know what's at stake. Why did you stop? No, why did you give up? Why are you leaving it to people who are incompetent? I don't have the intelligence for this. My friends are all trying so hard to figure themselves out. I don't even know if I can trust half of them, and you left it to a bunch of kids. You were smart enough for this. The spirits are screaming constantly, asking for something, for someone to do something. They won't do something, or maybe can't. Why has this stopped? Why did you give up? Why did you leave it to me and them?
Kind of leans on his staff. And he looks tired. He looks his age to you. You've seen him be spirited. You've seen him be kind of joyful, even in what looks like he's in like his 60s or 70s. You've seen him vault over, trees and stuff like that, tree logs and stuff. He was active, but he looks his age. He looks tired as he leans on his staff, and he just goes, "The weight of the world was on my shoulders, Bill. I have had that weight for a long time. And I had pissed off both the gods somewhat fierce. Did that a lot. And, I knew how to do it. I knew how to move around. In theory, I had the strength. But when you have the weight of the world on your shoulders for countless decades, and you finally get told, take a break. I did fight for the first couple years. I thought the world was something I needed to fix, something I needed to throw myself into, and I did fight. I damn near broke out twice. They kept a particularly good eye on me for those first 2 decades. But then I realized I could sit down, and there was no yelling or screaming. I didn't have to watch anyone die. I didn't have to watch people break day after day. I didn't have to drown my sorrows in alcohol just to make it to the next day. And
You were in pieces.
Hmm?
You were in pieces. Averin found you in pieces.
Yeah.
That's not peace. That's a prison of a broken mind. You've warned me about these things. You've told me what needs to happen.
Couple pieces of me were a little bit strange. The alcoholic one I remember so clearly. But the one that sticks with me is that forest clearing. I'm tired, Bill, and that's not an excuse.
We're all tired. You think
I
I'm
know.
not? 15 years alone, No one. Nothing. Nothing but screaming. Nothing but the dead telling me that they want revenge. Nothing but the dead screaming at me to help them. I didn't know what to do. You think I knew what to do? I don't even know what I'm doing right now. My friends don't even know what to do. They're fighting each other as much as they're fighting me. They're fighting each other to some degree. The two sisters in my party can't even make amends with each other properly. One of them I don't even trust. I'm not sure she's not going to just try to kill me one day. And the other one, I'm not sure isn't just going to abandon us the moment things get too hard. But I can't stop. I won't stop. I'm not smart enough to come up with a solution that won't kill people. I just want the screaming to stop.
He gently places his hand on your shoulder, and you can feel kind of energy kind of attempting to move into you. It pretty much is like almost asking for permission, basically.
What are you trying to do?
Ease your mind for just a moment.
Fine.
You feel it wash into you, and even in the Trailblade tears, even looking over the massive wave of dead soldiers that you can see, you finally don't hear their yells and screams. It's not that, he's just kind of muted it, it's that they've just kind of stopped. Like you're watching them just kind of stop yelling and screaming. And it's just a moment of peaceful silence that washes over you.
What did you do?
I calmed your mind for a second. It's a trick I learned a long time ago. It's a very, very difficult one, especially to hold in such a place as this. But if you hear the voices every day, all day, you get crazy. So I have calmed the terrain for now.
They need help.
They do.
Not even my own friends understand that. They want to help just the living, but what happens if something that's bugging me? Why aren't the dead rising? Your teachings told me revenants exist. Yeah, I haven't seen a single one, and isn't this the perfect conditions? Am I misremembering something?
I told you a long time ago that revenants spawn from pure and utter hatred for those that they face. Revenants only spawn if that hatred is true and consents. These creatures, these ghosts that you see beyond you, they do not hate the other side. Not fully. The half-elves fight for territory and because they were forced to and told to. The orcs fight for survival. For the orcs, it would be similar to fighting an elk, and they get impaled. For a half-elf, it would be same as fighting another half-elf. Same as fighting another army, same as fighting the goblins. They do not hate each other, not in a true fashion. Half-elves were forced to. The orcs are forced to. But that is not hate. There are some half-elves, even on this battlefield, that respect the orcs who have fought them, and fight with that respect in mind. And there are many half-elves who are on this battlefield who truly hate the elves. But many things lie between them and coming back. And all of them are tired. And all of them, they just don't want the innocents to die.
Why don't they just stop? Why can't they stop? Is it literally just Palor? I
No.
doubt that.
What's pushing these two armies is not the gods any longer. The gods are watching, for certain, and they influence small aspects. But the gods are watching this as if they're playing a chessboard, but each piece has its own opinion. They are fighting for one reason and one reason only: to save the future generations. Both sides wholeheartedly believe in every way, shape, and form possible that if they win this war, their children, their children's children, their children's children's children will get to live and grow up in a happy land. And there is nothing that one will not fight for that is more important than that.
Okay. I had another idea before coming here. It was spur of the moment. Can we get the spirits to rise somehow on their own to prevent, not hurt people? I don't want them hurting people. They don't need to fight. I don't want them to fight anymore. That goes for the orcs too, but theirs seem a little more, I don't know, controlled, I guess. I'm still really uncertain, but
It is okay.
can we use positive thoughts instead to make them rise? Something to get them to get up. The dead of their own volition, not because some necromancer tells them to, but to prevent the elves from marching forward.
You
Loki?
came from the Orcan lands, yes?
Yeah,
You saw their wall.
but the living don't see that because their hearts are cut off from it.
No, they don't. Nor do
How do
they
we-
see the creatures here, but they do when they rise. I can spend a little bit of time here, and I can make them visible, at least when they march. I can make a wall. I can create the orcish army's wall for the orcs, and I can show the elven army their half-elves. That might
That-
not work, but they'll
Right.
see their dead, and the respect their dead have.
I'm not sure the elves have any respect at all for the dead.
I do not know, but the elves are not the ones seeing them, is it? The half-elves will be watching their dead rise and asking them to stop. The orcs will see their dead rise and ask them to stop. They might.
Can this even work?
That is the hard part of this life, child. A lesson I wish I could have imparted upon you, but is one I learned through trial and error. You never know. It is not that I'm smart enough to do this, child. It is that I've gone through this enough that I know and hope that I'll do it well this time. I do not know if this will work. All I know is that I can try. I might get grabbed again by Palor and Shar if I do, but they'll at least see it.
Well, how do you do this? Without, the seance. How do you cause this?
It's something I developed myself. I've been able to see them for so long that I have a tangible connection with them. I have to ask most of them. I can ask them in groups, but I have to ask them and talk to them and bid them to come back, pull their soul from the ether, and force them to have a tangible connection through me. It's a lot, and there are a lot, and it will take me a long time. but I think I can do it.
I have one more question. Because you're
Indeed.
smarter than I am. Do you think the elves can be better?
That is not a question for me being smarter than you, my boy. Everyone can change. Everyone. There are no exceptions. Some change for the better and some change for the worse. You cannot tell if an entire organization will change, but I can tell you that every individual inside of the kingdom can be better, as long as they are shown the way.
Yeah. I look at the dead here and I think something sat with me. It sat with me a long time. A sentence, but it keeps sitting with me, and I'm not sure how to think of it, if I should act upon it or just ignore it.
Oh?
My friend, the one I'm not sure if they'll eventually try to stab me or not, wouldn't shock me, honestly, if I did something stupid enough.
I had a couple friends like that.
Yeah. They mean well, I think, but I don't know. They said that the elves here, the half-elves here, should have been better. I don't think that, but I'm also not sure how to answer that. Do you think they were good enough? That they lived well enough?
I think that they were products of their civilization, as she likely is. They may not necessarily have had to have been better, but she was raised to believe they could have been better. I think they did the best that they can, and she wants to believe that that is not the best that there is. Because if that is the best that there is, then how could she ever hope to win?
Okay.
You have done well, Bill.
Nah. I'm just getting by barely right now.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many adventurers live that way. You've done well with what you've been given. I just wish you'd been given better.
Ain't your fault. Ain't no one's fault. Who could have predicted a tiny Kenku baby running for its life, right? Who could have predicted?
Did you know I was alone before you?
Yeah, I remember. You didn't have anything clean. Everything was a mess. If I hadn't shown up, he'd probably be dead from alcohol poisoning at this point. By the way, there's a guy named Ezekiel. Ring any bells?
Ooh, vaguely. Is he still alive?
He's, I'm pretty sure, immortal, given he exploded, apparently, when he went planeswalking with me, because we made an alcohol so potent that it sent your spirit to other realms. That's how I ended up seeing you.
Did you make the dragon wine?
Yeah. Is that something that was existing beforehand? Did we not make a new thing?
No, my boy. No, the dragon wine was a myth. Me and him played around with it so often. We told each other that if we ever found a dragon, we'd take all of its pieces and we'd forge into a wine that the world has never seen before. Something that should not exist, but yet does. It was a myth, a fabrication, a wish, a hope. Especially with the fact that almost all dragons have died. We were thinking of using you once, Loki. But, you're a bit too big for that. Loki starts laughing.
But oh yeah, by the way, Loki, the planes travel. That wine may be able to take you somewhere. I don't know. It may not be potent enough for you since you're so big. We may not have enough. But I was also thinking of trying to locate a certain spell that I read about. But getting information on it is difficult so far. But if my gut is correct, because my head certainly isn't, I may be able to get you to plane travel. But it may cost me my life. Possibly. Depends on a few factors that I'm unaware of.
You
I'm
are
good
a
at memorizing
fascinating
things.
creature, Kangu.
Thank
Your
you.
death will be very difficult to come by if I have anything to say about. Because I like you
Oh.
being around. You're entertaining.
Oh, by the way, wasn't able to kill that death person. I couldn't find him, and the one person that represented them was in the middle of an orc encampment, and I wasn't going to be able to start a fight there. I may not value my life very much, but I value my friends' lives.
Say the word, and now eat the camp.
Maybe some other time. Not right now, though. We need them alive to piss off Pay and Charlor. Or Char and Paylor. How did I mess up their names, of all people? They're only the people I'm trying to stab right now. Bill pulls out his sword. Oh, by the way, I made this.
Your master looks at it with quite surprise. He's just like, you found the god-slaying medal. How many myths have you been finding, my boy?
Ask Ellie. Or Avrin. Or who would know about myths? I figured Ellie would, given she's from a thing. Maybe Rowena? Maybe? I don't know. To be fair, like, it's not that really myths. I'm just kind of following your stories. Kind of been doing that from the start.
Oh, my poor boy. My stories were full of more dangerous crap than most people's lives are. Oh, I should not have left you with that book.
It's your own fault for getting taken, you jerk.
I'll tell you what, I'll take 5 more swigs before I get taken again. Right, different book for you, something happy.
I mean, it taught me Celestial. But, alright.
Wasn't expecting to learn that.
Speaks in Celestial. You do realize that my intelligence is low, but my memorization is high, right?
That's true. That's true. Kind of replies back to you in Celestial, being like, how do you feel about a book about a hermit that lives in the middle of the woods that does nothing but watches random animals pass by and, I guess, eat berries?
Peaceful.
I'll write that for you.
Maybe I'll write a song about it and actually be able to play it somewhere. People get annoyed after about the 998. Is it 900? Bill starts trying to count on his fingers with immediate failure. People don't like it when you sing about a lot of bottles of beer. They get sick of it after a while. Or they start getting drunk to it, and then you have another problem when the dwarves start fighting each other. And or Ezekiel starts breaking legs and healing them for money.
Is he still doing that? I thought he was out of that phase years ago.
He was really drunk.
Oh.
Oh, you should also meet my friends at some point. You know, bar the possibility of stabbing each other sometimes. To be fair, we fight a lot. I don't... Is fighting normal for siblings? I don't have any.
So certainly. I don't have any siblings of my own, but from the stories I've read, you either beat your siblings to death, argue with them constantly, or you're best friends with them. Though some very weird ones about siblings from, marriage and stuff, but I'm not going to go into detail with that about you, with you. No. You can read... Actually, don't read those stories. Don't avoid those stories as much as you can.
Bill just tilts his head. The heck of marriage.
Oh, right. I never talked about that. All right, when two people love each other very much, they throw paper at each other sometimes. Sometimes they look at each other and just say, "You're mine forever," and then then they are.
Oh, like Ellie and Jackson. That explains a lot.
Yes. I don't know them, but yes. Probably.
Well, to be fair, they throw each other in the water, but close enough?
Do they hit each other?
Yes.
That sounds like a marriage to me, like every one of my ex-wives.
Huh.
Do they say loving things to each other? Like, oh, what would be considered loving for you?
No.
You want a drink?
I mean, Ellie got drunk once and kissed him.
Sounds like a marriage to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Cool, good to know.
Yeah.
What do you do when people are married? Do you just, like, hand them something?
I mean, usually you give each other a piece of paper. I mean, sometimes give each other a weapon, or a ring in some cases.
Oh, yeah, they did the ring thing and the weapon thing. I think Ellie has his dagger. What did she hand him? I don't think she handed him her pan. She doesn't want to get rid of that pan. Oh, by the way, never allow Ellie to cook for you. At least not with her
Raises an
pan.
eyebrow.
Her pan burns food, apparently. And there's stories of it, and I've only ever heard stories of it, but she refuses to cook with it, so I'm pretty sure it's cursed.
Huh. Well, I'm going to assume they're married then, and best of luck. I mean, sometimes when you get married, you drink. I'm sure you do other things, but I usually just drank. Go on adventures together. That's something people do. Read books sometimes.
I don't know what she read about the library in the... Oh, yeah. By the way, I'll be at the Citadel in, like, I don't know, 12 hours, 13 hours. Depends on if I feel like running. I'm gonna go cause chaos there to also try to prevent them as much. Basically, I'm trying to set up as many barriers of entry as possible between everyone.
Interesting. Well, best of luck with that.
Do you happen to... By the way, do you happen to know how to make a stronger Molotov?
He kind of like kneels down for a second, kind of slowly sliding down his staff. And he like looks you right in the eyes, and he just goes, "Are you asking me if I know how to burn things really well?"
Bill just slowly pulls out his bundle of Molotovs and just slowly puts them back in. Does that answer the question?
So, did you know that if you have a little sack of gunpowder inside of your Molotov, and you kind of soak a little bit of that fuse that sticks out of it, and you go all the way up out of the thing, right? Like the I suppose you have a cloth, but if you shove the cloth into there and you wrap it, and then you put that into your bottle and you throw it, not only does it explode heavily, but it also soaks them with a flammable liquid, which is also on fire.
Yeah, that sounds like I can get that in the Citadel. Probably.
I have one if you want it. So don't use it for some interesting adventures, but I mean, I'll be here for a while, so I'm not using it anyways.
Bill just opens his bag of holding.
He like reaches into his bag. He pulls out a Molotov that's like twice as big as your one is, and you notice there's a little black bag in the middle of it, and like it's a tiny fuse that escapes the black bag, goes through the liquid, and then comes out the top of it, and it looks spooky as he's like, "Here you go, buddy," puts it into your bag. Ah, I remember teaching you your first days of burning down buildings.
The fact
Good
that
days.
the fact that you built a random building in the middle of a forest that just casually got... How did we never get found for that, by the way?
You know, not too sure. But it's very fun burning down. You know, first we had to make it. It took me a while to make it, like couple months to make it. But then we burned it, and it was spectacular.
Noted.
We did use a lot of booze.
Yeah, I have an infinite supply because I handed a guy a weird shiny. I think you called it a platinum.
No, impressive job. Is it the good stuff or is it the shitty stuff?
It's the stuff I use for Molotovs.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
To be
Well, I
fair,
mean, it's good for
also-
Molotovs.
Yeah, I ended up in the alcoholics committee, or alcoholics club.
How impressive! I was part of that once, and then they kicked me out.
Why?
Let's just say when you've drunk almost every alcohol that they can possibly give you and then throw it in multiple of their faces while also peeing on their board, they get kind of mad at you.
But Ezekiel's ahead, and he does that all the time.
He's never peed on their board. They were very upset by that.
I mean, I highly. Wait, is he not the leader? Who's the leader then?
Oh, that's a gnome. I never actually met the man.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Some grampy dude. I think.
I don't think that
Ask
was...
Ellie.
That's not the name I knew him by, but I mean, if he
That's-
became a grandfather, good on him. I don't know how he deals with children at his age. He should be dead by now.
Handed them the ability to fight and taught them how to fight people up, apparently, according to Ellie. I think. She
That
said
does
other
sound
stuff
like
about
him.
She also knows how to make beer. I think.
Hmm.
She knows how to be a bar hop and also tie people up. She's got a lot of weird skills, I think she learned from him. I think. Well, not weird, maybe normal. To be fair, are we weird? I don't know.
I would say I learned a lot of skills next to that man. We we traveled to a lot of bars together. Let me tell you, he's small, so he can get a lot of places I can't.
Noted. Regardless, oh, by the way, that group should be probably coming through here. Look for the boring girl that you saw last time, Loki, and don't kill him.
Aww.
Look, I don't care if you stop people. Up to you if you kill them. I'm not going to tell you not to because, well, normal people. Mainly because I don't think I can really stop you from killing everyone. Try not to, please. I'm not a murder hobo, mass murderer. I'm just dumb.
Suppose I can leave them alive. Although really, if they decide to walk up to a 300-foot-long dragon, it's really their choice to die.
Noted. Oh, by the way, do you know anything about tiefling doctors?
No. Should I?
No, I just thought I'd ask.
Oh.
We have a doctor in our group. He's very nice. Makes a lot of interesting things. You should talk to him sometime. You may be able to give him something he doesn't have yet. Given your abilities with supplies of varying kinds. I never learned how to use that alchemy set that you had, by the way. I accidentally blew it up.
Oh.
Left me with a few burns.
You know, I'm not surprised by that. No offense meant.
None taken, I'm not. I know how to brew things. That's about my skill set.
Yeah, usually it doesn't involve fire, so, probably makes that easier for you.
Oh, and if they're cussing on their way here, it's probably because they read my note to meet me at the Citadel.
Oh. I'll make sure he doesn't kill anyone.
Cool. Alright, I gotta head to the Citadel because that's where I'm gonna meet them. But I'm gonna take my sweet time. I've gotten here, I've dealt with here, I'm gonna just walk. I'll sleep when I get there. I think.
He nods. And Loki just kind of slowly half blinks at you as if he was nodding his head, but with his eyeball. Before he just kind of goes up, takes to the sky, and it like kind of explodes wind around you, almost knocking you off your balance, but your master puts his hand on your back as he goes upwards, and his tail hits the ground. And he just kind of stays there.
Huh. Neat. Oh, so I can spit, or not spit, I can What is it? I have acid abilities.
Oh.
Yeah, I walked into a blue dragon's gut.
Oh. That does make sense, as yeah, you got some of its organs. Impressive. I've never actually managed to go down into a blue dragon's gut before.
It smelled bad.
Well, I'll work on making the dead scene again, or at least trying to. See how many of them I can convince. It's a little bit more difficult. I think the orcs should be fine, because I just have to kind of walk over to their gravesite and just start shouting at them for a while. That might do it. The half-elves might be a little bit more difficult.
I mean,
I'll
I
work
could
on them
motivational
first.
speech the ones here.
Hmm?
You could motivational speech. That's a neat spell. Does it work on the dead?
Sometimes.
Start with that, maybe?
Yeah.
Anyway, I wish you luck. I need to get going, because if I don't go now, I'm gonna forget. Because my memory is great, except when it's not. Oh,
Fair.
so I want to get to Tim and set up a ton more of these Molotovs, because I got to figure out how I'm going to use these to disrupt the Citadel for a while.
Best of luck to you, my boy. And again, I am sorry that this is the path your life has taken. But you are doing it well.
You were gone for 15 years. There's nothing you could have done. I'm just lucky, I guess. I met the people that it did, and they didn't try to kill me the moment they found me. By the way, that book was cursed, you jerk. Why'd you tell me to burn it?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was cursed.
You cursed a book without... No, Bill's gonna
I
just
was
squabble.
very drunk that day.
Bill's just gonna start like making squabble noises of frustration at his master, and you can cut off to the other part of the party.
So we're gonna move back to the party real quick. You guys have now woken up, kind of all getting up, and you see Bill's bag, and you noticeably know you have the potential notice of it's not moving. He usually moves.
I'm gonna like poke it,
Yep, nothing.
and then when that doesn't work, I just like open it, and it's like, Bill.
You see
Away?
his usual
Did he get
stuff, but
drunk?
not Bill.
Okay, so either he has passed out cold or drunk perhaps, or he has run off somewhere.
You do see his
Ellie would
bagpipes
go
just kind of
through his
sitting there.
Yeah, he wouldn't leave his bagpipes ever.
As
What?
you look
He
a
should
little
be
bit
near
further
his
down,
bagpipes.
so you look a little bit further down, you see a single note that's just kind of sitting on his bagpipes.
Ellie grabs it, obviously.
Bill.
Dr. Jackson, come here.
Huh? What's up?
Jackson walks over curious.
Bill left a note, and he's not here. He also left his bagpipes, which is not good. He always has his bagpipes.
Yeah, none of that sounds right.
But he also wrote a note, which is also really bad.
Bill, what does your note say? If he's there?
Enlighten us with
Yeah.
the language of
Oh.
the gods.
It just simply says, "Meet you at the Citadel. We'll be there if I'm not killed by a dragon."
Ah, I see.
Motherfucker.
Excuse me?
Who wants
I'm
to
just
hold
going
his
to get-
100-pound bag?
I'm just going to immediately pull the what's it called? I'm just gonna pull
Sending
my
stone?
Yes. I'm just going to send him a quick. Are you all right? You left all your stuff. Why did you leave all your? Two questions. Why did you run, and why did you leave all your stuff?
Oh yeah, that's
Wait,
something
does
else.
Bill even have his sending stone?
No, he left it in his
It doesn't
bag.
matter. He can hear it in his head, and that's how
Oh,
sending
yeah.
stone
Oh, true.
works.
Just sending stone in bag, but all you get a reply is, "I'm alive. Meet you at the Citadel."
What the crap?
He's not giving a straight answer again.
You mean the doctor curse?
So, we're taking a detour?
Do you know where the closest door is?
Not anywhere near you guys. Well,
No,
technically,
like
the
he
closest door
legitimately
would
just asks
be.
Averin that when
Oh.
that's her response.
Wait, what?
Where's
Do you-
the closest
do you
door?
Know, do you know where the closest door is?
She like know that like his examine the steps. That she like gestures to where she already knows the door is.
Yeah, the closest door would be Big Mama's tent or tavern area thing. Mess hall, I suppose.
The tent is a door.
Well, that seems like I guess just another way of getting myself in trouble by drawing on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try something else. Hey, Sin,
Mm-hmm.
would fabricate be good enough to actually construct a door? And would I know if a door or crafted through fabricate would actually work for Mrs. Claus thing?
You would be able to fabricate the door as long as you had the material, which you guys are inside of a pine forest. So there would be a lot of material around. And you would know that the specifics for Mrs. Claus's door thing is that it has to be an entryway. So it has to be a door that you can open up, walk through, and close behind you.
Question: would I be able to essentially just stand the door up in its just like construct like a small frame that goes basically nowhere, just like it's on top of like a foundation, but there's no walls on either side of it? Would I just be able to just like step through that door and still do it?
Technically,
asking.
no. You would have to put it between two trees,
Crap.
which you guys are surrounded by pine trees.
And fabricate is limited its space of like, how far was it? Was it 5 or 10 feet? I need to double check now.
Something like that. You, technically speaking, could put it right next to a tree and like connect a stick from one side to another tree and make that an entryway.
Let's see here.
It's a bit of a pain in the ass to do, but you could do it.
The entire thing needs to be contained within a 5-foot square.
Yeah,
There's
so you can
no way
totally
I'm gonna
make
be able to pull that
a
off.
door and then just grab a stick off the ground and just kind of put the stick between the door and the tree, depending on how far the tree is. There's a couple of trees like 10 feet away from the other trees, so it's not the most difficult thing.
You know what? Screw it. Let's try it this way. It's like, okay, guys. I think it's time to try something stupid. I'm calling in a favor. Or it just says, I'm just going to cast Fabricate. And I'm going to run through the process we just discussed.
You guys just watching him just kind of create a door from a shit ton of random debris and other crap that's on the ground. And he just kind of creates it in front of you and then just grabs a bunch of sticks and just do wrapping it together, wrapping it together, before it touches the other tree.
And then I'm going to proceed to scribble Mrs. Claus's mark on it.
Hmm?
And just turn back to the rest of the party and just say, just get ready to duck. Just open the door frame and just duck to get under, because has to fit within a 5-foot cube. That means that means that we would probably be all right for someone of small size, but just about everyone else of us is probably going to hit our head if we try walking in.
So you guys do that, and you guys start. I'm assuming you guys pick up your camp and stuff, and you guys head through the door.
I'm just gonna have Mrs. Claus send us straight to the slums.
Oh boy! So because she does have the door there. That's right. So you guys walk in, kind of getting your camp up, right, and everything. You guys walk in, you start talking. You do that, and you talk to Mrs. Claus, and you're like, all right, we need to teleport. And she goes, just so you know, it will probably be within maybe 5 or 10 miles of where you guys want. No, the slums. Oh, I have area for that.
Yup, basically.
So you guys.
Random question: how would you
Yes.
contact her?
How what?
We don't need to. We just step through the door and it just goes straight to her room.
Yep. As long as you have that symbol, you can do it. Sometimes it's not the best option, and she does get spooked as she is currently beating the ever-living crap out of a mimic, who is just kind of a pile of goo in front of her. She's just like, you should knock.
Can you knock on those doors with the sigil? Would you be able to hear that?
No, as long as it has my sigil on it, it's effectively just a portal to my door. Squish. So if you knock, I can probably hear it. Crack.
Definitely
there
not.
goes
I'll keep
its
that in mind for
spine.
next time.
Good plan. Do you guys want mimic cookies? She like rips off the mimic's arm. I can totally bake some for you.
I think I'll pass it this time around, but I appreciate the offer.
I'll take the
Yeah.
cookies.
Oh. I'll be sure to make some after I'm done dealing with it, and impales it through the back with its own arm. You really have to tenderize the meat a lot, you know? It's a very long process. I do actually have one from last time I talked to you, and she like reaches over and, you know, grabs a cookie from it was effectively a fridge. It's just a small cupboard with ice in it, and she like hands it to you. Here you go.
Just take the cookies. Just, as long as it's free, I'll take anything. So
Oh,
and
yeah.
not poisoned.
Oh, it's not
this good?
poisoned. And she
Good.
like grabs the jaw of this mimic and like rips in half in front of you. It's not poisoned. It's just difficult to make.
Mm-hmm. I like break it in half to like examine it before I just shove it into my mouth.
Honestly, it tastes pretty good. It's very gamey. It's very meaty for a cookie, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Also, just simply, so there's new loose ends. If nobody else is taking Bill's bag, I'm dragging all of his stuff into the door with me.
Nice, nice.
Let's be real, I probably would. Just the act of trying to drag all that stuff probably would demand into crouching anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty goddamn heavy. And funny enough, I think of the three of you, oh no, Averin has the highest strength. I was about to say, I think your 11 has the highest.
Yeah, but I mean, if I don't say anything, someone will do it for me.
That's true. That's true. So you just kind of drag it in there, and then she's just like kind of like shrugs and wipes her gooey, bloody hands off on like a rag or something, and kind of slaps her door and opens up, and you guys get the very familiar and for Averin very unpleasant memories of the slums. Which actually, specifically, it would be slums, Undercity Village. If it will let me. It's been a while. There we go. You guys are back here. Which is actually exactly where Marigold is.
Just quick look towards Ellie. If anyone asks, I'm a revenant. I'm undead, and if anyone asks.
Oh yeah,
Duly
everyone
noted.
thinks you're dead here. Keep forgetting that.
Everyone is just like looking around warily. It's like a part of her mind like switched back into like how she was before.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, while you guys are moving into the Citadel, let's go back to the world map here. And Rowena, actually, I can now move you guys all the way over there. Was not expecting y'all to actually do that method. Frankly, I'm surprised you remembered it.
I remember.
I love it. So, Rowena,
The only
you've...
thought that crossed our mind. You know, with Fabricate, I can basically make a portal anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so Rowena, you wake up. Your two thralls are still kind of there, just kind of staring at you. I assume you pack up all your stuff and start heading out on your way.
Yes, and I remind them not to touch me.
Hey, they nod and they keep a healthy distance of about 15 feet away from you. But you guys start making your way. It takes you probably about 2 or 3 hours in order to get to the designated camp zone. They did say about 2 days, but that's because they expected to be waiting on you. So by the time that you get there, they're actually, well, the majority of the groups are actually there. And and you do see a bunch of people kind of looking at you as you start kind of walking up to the area. Do you say or do anything to make it so they don't get overly concerned?
Are you the one sent to deal with my problem? I suppose.
Yes, ma'am, says a little bit of a younger one who looks at you. We've been stationed here to make sure that you are able to get to where you need to be going as soon as possible. Do you have the cargo? Because it looks like you do.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take you to our commander then. Actually, I think you might know each other.
There's a possibility, yes. Just so you know, they won't be speaking, really, to anyone.
Don't worry, ma'am. We have many ways to get people to talk, but we also don't need them to talk. At least, I don't think we do.
Right. Well, lead away. I'm not exactly sure where we're going. I was just told to meet up here.
Indeed, ma'am. Your the second in command has been posted to this place as well. He was on a mission out here, and so they decided to put him there. He was training a couple of folks, so we're gonna take you right to him. And he turns on his heel and he starts walking.
Okay. Right. Come along. She'll wave the mimics, or sorry, you was talking about mimics, the thralls.
Yeah. They
With her.
start walking with you. Couple of the other half elves look at you very curiously as you do so, but you eventually get going. They have a bunch of just tents set up, more or less, just kind of designed to be pick up and go, essentially. But there's a much bigger one in the center, and he brings you to that one. And he just kind of
Before
stands
we
at the
get
door and
there.
holds it open.
Before we get there on the walk, can I be like, so do you know what the plan is?
Which plan, ma'am?
There's more than one plan. I mean, what are we going to do with the cargo that I have retrieved?
Oh, that plan. So the cargo here is going to be used as hostages in order to produce a specific surrender of sorts from the commander of the opposite army. I don't know the whole plan or what the plan may fully be, but I know they will be particularly important pawns for this plan because we assume that he cares for his wife and child as much as most do care for wife and child, and so we can potentially make the entire orc army surrender, as it seems.
One would hope. Okay.
Indeed. And he stands at the tent entrance and holds it open. You're welcome to go in, ma'am. We'll make sure that your the orcs are standing by out here. As you can imagine, we don't particularly want them to be inside of our commander's tent alone with him. You understand?
Understood. Yes, of course. Stay here. I'll be back. And she'll go in.
You walk in and you're greeted by the sight of a person that you have not seen for quite some time. I believe it's said Tychorus Barrel?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Okay. So Beryl, like, he looks up at you. Beryl looks up at you and he nods and he's like, Rowena, good to see you again.
Oh. It's great to see you as well, I suppose.
It's been a very long time. I apologize for the situations that have occurred so far. I was hoping we'd be able to meet under better circumstances. I've already been to the Citadel recently. I've been there a couple of times, but was sent on a mission out into the to Rio Tao. So I was kind of expecting to meet up with you at some point, but this was certainly not my expectation.
No, it wasn't mine either. I thought maybe I would lead the two into a trap, but I guess we're taking them back.
Indeed. So we can't do much with them out here. If we killed them, we'll just spark a bigger war. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to take them back to the Citadel, lock them up or whatever have you, send a message to the commander of the Orcish army, tell him that we have his wife and child, and say that if he does not give us a unconditional surrender, we will slaughter them and put their heads on spikes right outside of the Trailblazers.
So threaten him, and then if he doesn't follow through, do what I thought we were going to do first, which apparently will give us a bigger war.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if they're going to start war anyways, we might as well follow through. But we're going to give them a chance to stay down. Your father has some plans if they do stay down, but I don't know what they are. He refuses to tell me.
Well, when do we leave? Might
We
as well
leave
get
as soon
this
as you
over
get
with.
you are ready to. We were expecting you to be here in about a day or so. We weren't expecting to be able to get both of them to cooperate with you so very quickly, especially unharmed. And very impressive tactics, by the way.
I'm an impressive person. I think you know this.
Indeed. I swear, if I didn't know better, I would say that they went along with you willingly. Shocking.
You don't need to know my tactics, but if you do want to know a little secret, it probably has a little to do with this. And she'll draw the dragon bone sword and kind of show it off.
Ooh, very impressive. I love the handicraft on it. I personally prefer my spear. He grabs a spear next to him and puts it on his shoulder. You also notice the spear is made of pure gold. You're not entirely sure if the metal itself is gold, but it shines and is reflective as gold, and so is the color. It also looks way lighter than in theory should be. I like
You
my
might.
spear.
Yeah, you might enjoy your spears, but let me tell you, swords and arrows are definitely the way to go.
Well, when your spear returns back to your hands, it's like having a portable arrow at any point in time, and longer range than a sword.
Yeah, but if someone gets up close and she'll like really quick get like face to face with him, what are you going to do?
He
tip of your
face to
spear is on the
face,
other
and he just
side.
he gives you the biggest shit-eating grin you've ever seen. It's like, well, I could use my fancy charms on them at that point.
Not if my blade is already through your chest.
Well, that's why I have armor.
Whatever. Let's go.
Same old, Rowena. He'll stand up. Or he was already standing, but he'll kind of cross over the desk, make sure some stuff is put away. He's like, all right, we'll get everything organized, get the camp set up, and we'll start our march. We've heard rumors that a big dragon folk is over the Trailblazers again, so we're gonna take a little bit longer route, head through a little bit of the southern end of Ryotao, southern end of the trail. Just above where I believe that town, Gray Town, is. We're gonna head a little bit north of that. We're gonna cross all the way over to the tree, and we'll get back to the Citadel. Should take us about 4 days, 5 days if we keep good pace.
Do you have any way to get in contact?
With your father?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, I have a sending stone. Just needed for him.
Well, inform him.
Oh, yes, right. I was gonna do that later. But alright. He grabs at the sending stone, and he kind of taps it. He's like, never know how to use these things. He always told me just to think his name. And then you see the sending stone open up its mouth again with just a resounding, please tell me you have some good news and you're not just talking to me, talk to me. And he's like, oh, that's how that works. Sorry, yeah, I keep forgetting that's how that works. So, your daughter is here, sir. Oh. Okay. Yes, and you did bring the orcs, right?
Yes, they're waiting outside.
She brought the orcs, so we're gonna head on back. Should take us about 4 or so days. Yeah. And then your dad replies with, "Do you have both of them?"
She'll grab the stone. Yes, surprisingly, I've gotten both of them.
I can verify. He like looks his head outside the door that she has 1 and 2 orcs with her, and you hear your dad on the other end just kind of go, "Good." Effective immediately, you are now promoted to second in command. You are now above in chain of command. Brayrol. Brayrol, you will be under her command. Any quest that she gives you, assume I'm requesting it. Move out as soon as possible and stop calling me. And the sending stone hangs up, and Brayrol just goes, "Huh."
Indeed. See? That's exactly what I was waiting for.
Huh. I guess you're my commander now. Yeah, usually
guess
it's
I
it's the
am.
other way around.
Well, it's not usually. Usually I'm in my own area. But
That's
now
true.
I'm in charge.
Well, what shall we do, Commander?
First, why did my dad say stop calling me? Are you calling him like every day?
He keeps telling me that the way to call him is by thinking his name. And so whenever I'm holding the stone, I tend to think of his name and then we'll call him. And yeah, sometimes I do it in times he doesn't want me to, like when he's reading or he's killing
He's
someone.
a busy
But
guy.
yeah,
You don't.
I try not to. It just kind of
fine.
happens.
It's fine. Why would I have ever expected anything better?
Right. Well, the original plan was to go above Greytown. The trail is a little bit dangerous. We can go through the trail if you want to, though, Commander. It'd be a little
that
bit
sounds
faster, but not much.
fantastic coming from your mouth, Brayril.
Yes,
Say
yes,
again.
rub it in. Safest path is just above Greytown. The fastest path is straight on through to the other side.
I'm not sure I know who you're talking to.
Commander.
That's right. Okay. Oh. You're right. Where I got the dragon bone to make this sword was on the trail. So I do think it'd be smart not to go directly on it. But I don't want to take so long as to go all the way near Greytown.
It only had about half a day, roughly, to our journey. It's just a little bit more bumpy, a little bit more difficult terrain. Probably add like 8-9 hours to our journey.
Fine. A couple more days travel shouldn't be anything really to worry about.
All right, ma'am. We'll get that sword out already. And he steps out and goes, "All right, boys, pack up. We got a new commander now. It's Rowena. Get things packed up. Get ready to go. We're going to go just above Greytown. We're going to add about 8 hours to our journey instead of going directly through the trail, mostly because the trail might just kill us. Get your shit organized, get it out, get it done, and we are good to go. And you orcs, follow."
You don't have, like, a cage cart?
But no. I mean, I guess we could.
Okay.
Probably find one, probably. I mean, we're just kind of expecting to throw them inside of like a cart or something, and somebody watch over them with like a spear, probably me. Cage just seemed unnecessary and kind of heavy.
Okay. I mean, but just They won't listen to anyone but me.
Yeah. Do they not speak
Yeah.
common?
I mean, they do, but it's a long story.
Oh. You two follow us. Do you think if I slowed it down it might help?
No, I don't quite think so. But I mean,
Oh.
good try. Right. Follow. Should I have them follow me? I suppose that would be the smartest thing. Right. Continue to follow me at space.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Someone, I guess we can put, like, chains on them. Probably be the best way to keep them contained.
No.
Oh,
They'll
no
be
chains?
fine.
Really?
No, I told you they'll listen to me. I told you it's also a long story. Do you want me to walk you through it?
I mean, we got, like, 4 days ahead of us, Commander.
I don't want to tell it all.
Oh.
Listen, I'll simplify it. You saw my sword? It has to do with that.
Ah.
You can see each side has, runes that mean certain things. Well, when we meaning me and a group of people that I had gathered together to fight this dragon. When we fought the dragon, I found a spell scroll that I used on these two. They'll only listen to me. It was a one-time thing. So I don't want to dismiss the spell right now because it's very useful.
Fair enough, Commander. All right. Well, no chains for the prisoners, I guess. Commander's word. He just kind of starts packing up his shit.
Trust me. Just trust me. They're not going anywhere.
All right. I got faith in you, Commander. And yeah, you guys pick up your shit and get your stuff organized, and within probably about an hour and a half, you guys are all able to get going. You probably have a platoon of like 20 people around you, couple of like 2 carts and so, and like couple oxes, and you guys start making fairly good way on the thing. So it'll take Bill probably around 2 or 3 days to get to the Citadel. Shorter if he decides to hardcore run, but sleep is needed. And it'll take you about 4.5 days in order to get to the Citadel from your position, with your big ass group. So, within those 4 days, my lovely group of people who are inside of the Citadel, once I can pull up the goddamn thing again, we'll do the Undercity, the slums. There you are.
Oh, it's gonna take the 4 days. Should I roll 4 more chaotic alchemy?
Depends on what you guys are planning to do in those 4 days. What are you guys plan on doing? You guys know that Bill is supposedly going to be in this area. I mean, he ran, so he probably has a couple days before he gets in this area because he didn't teleport. You guys have no idea where Rowena is in any way, shape, or form. And you guys also didn't talk to her.
It's fine.
Crap.
They know I leave. They know I leave.
Yeah, they just know you disappeared, said you were going to go scout, and then they fucked off. So you guys don't know where Ruin is. You guys know that Bill's going to be there in a couple of days, but you're not sure how many. So what were you you three planning on doing inside of the slums?
I want to check up on Tommy's diner, restaurant, place. I don't care. Everyone doesn't care.
That's what I was gonna bring up. It's like we can just go to Tommy and go from there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, probably the
Unless
wisest
that's a bad
idea.
idea, Jackson.
I was mostly just going to go up there and continue researching that illness, that counter illness. Counter illness sounds right.
Jackson kind of like looks at you. He's like, no, that sounds like a fairly good idea to me. Although, I mean, if you paid off my debt, Tommy should be fine with me.
Were we paying
Hopefully.
off?
Oh, I did.
Did you have a debt? Oh.
Yeah, you see,
Yes,
when you
he
do a
did.
lot of odd
Quite
jobs
the
for
large
Tommy,
debt.
I did a lot of odd jobs for him. I got into a lot of fights in his tavern, and when you break an entire wall off of his tavern, he gets kind of angry at you for it.
You broke a wall?
Just the entire
Too quick.
wall. I kept the other 3.
Hold on, slow down. 2 questions.
Jackson
One, how did you
Xavier
do
Gray.
it? And 1, how did you do it? And 2, why did you do it?
I was in a
Honestly,
fight with
quite
a
impressive.
particularly angry orc, and I threw him through a wall, and I may or may not have had explosives lined across the entire wall that he bounced into and exploded off of each of the explosives.
Do I want to know why you put the explosives there?
So I could throw him through the wall.
So you picked a fight with him on a whim? Him just
Oh
simply
no, he
before
was
and
planning
over?
on killing me for like 2 weeks. I managed to evade him a lot and then set that up. He was very angry with me. I had a bounty of like 40 gold on me at the time, and down there it's not really a lot of money, but I mean, some food for Tommy, I guess. He was very angry with me. He was also very drunk. I got him very drunk because I thought it would be funny if he was drunk and flying through the wall.
You can get Tommy drunk?
Oh no, not Tommy the orc.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
I don't think it's
Hey,
possible
Jackson.
for Tommy to drink.
Hey
Mhm.
Jackson, do you have an hour? I have so many questions.
We'll be walking. So
Above gave up. I'm just gonna skip over those questions.
yeah, you're good.
Well, I'm glad you're getting along with my team.
The doctor seems like a friendly fellow. At least, I hope you're friendly. I assume you're friendly.
I don't have any intent. I just have intentions of just halting the violence. I don't see anything positive coming out of this war continuing. I just hate the fact that I don't really have any better ideas as to what to do aside from taking it to the gods themselves.
Yeah, that seems to be our problem for the most part. You guys eventually make your way into the tavern. It's shockingly pretty empty for the most part, and Tommy's just kind of there at the bar, flipping his coin, and he's organizing a couple of mugs in front of him as he looks over and sees you, and he's like, "Oh, hello. It's been a while."
Tommy, how's the force field?
Averin, the force field is actually working pretty well, thank you. I was not expecting you to actually get me a force field, and in fact, I was quite shocked when it came by.
Hold. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to know. I didn't get him a force field.
You did not, no.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check. It's been a while. I just
Yeah,
wanted to.
you did not give him a force field. You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
I just like play along. It's like, glad it worked out for you.
Yes, I did make a connection with those folks in Circadia as well. It was an interesting time, so you have repaid your debt to me, so congratulations on that. Would any of you folks like some food?
Before I answer that, I probably need to make sure you know this because you actually know you probably know my face from the past. So if anyone asks, I'm undead.
Interesting.
Don't ask.
I won't.
Just slaps that onto the end.
What would your undead body prefer sustenance in terms of food or souls?
Okay, never mind. Either you didn't see me, or if anyone asked about me, just simply tell them I looked dead.
I will pretend that
I'm
you
surprised
haven't
you
existed.
haven't done disguise self already at this point. Even Jackson may help you with it.
I'm just sitting here sweating, remembering I actually do have that spell and just didn't think about preparing it.
Right. So, will the rest of you enjoy food aside from the guy that I apparently am not seeing? I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that in a condescending way.
You know what? That's good enough.
I wouldn't mind some food.
All
I just say look
How
at
much
them
will
and
it be?
I nod.
Just a couple of silvers for the group of you.
Okay, and Ellie will give him some silver.
Nice. About 3 silver or so. And he's kind of walk into the back, and as per the last time that he had walked into the back, you guys hear some stuff like he's throwing crap, or like moving things around, or just general roughage and moving, and he eventually comes out in way less time than, frankly, it should take to produce 4 different plates of what looks like an incredibly good meal, and he places it down at the bar. All right, that's some fresh house stew on the spot for you folks. Anything else you'd like? Information, death, money, information. I really just deal in information for the most part. That's what I'm good at.
Do you have much information about how the illness has been progressing? Rumor on the streets that it's apparently going to be used for something dubious in the future.
Interesting. Well, the elves up high still have us under quarantine, and though it is quite contagious, it has been, it has not been slowing down, but it has been progressing steadily. So it's one of the reasons my bar is a little bit more quiet today, is because people are trying to stay away from the virus as much as possible. Hasn't quite killed all of us yet. Still got ways to go for that, but it has definitely not been slow.
Has anyone else been able to contact Rigor Mortis?
Not to the best of my memory.
He did state that he was gonna rejoin the surface not long after we visited him. And the virus, is it at least staying within the Citadel walls?
It's within the slums walls, ain't in the Citadel just yet. No one's allowed to be leaving this place or entering. Frankly, I'm amazed you guys came back.
Well, that's because we heard a wandering friend of ours was trying to make a great escape this way again.
Interesting. If you're looking for the good doctor, though, there's a fellow over there, he kind of gestures to the back, that also told me to, he also told me that if I saw him, that I didn't see him. So, I didn't see
Ellie
him.
immediately looks that way.
That seems like just gonna hint us any. Yeah, I turned in that direction as well.
It's Dr. Rigor Mortis over in the corner here. Attempting to look as nondescript as possible, and honestly succeeding at it very well. He's just kind of sitting there, he's in his usual outfit of covered in, stuff like that. He's like, yeah. I mean, he showed up a few days ago, hasn't really left that spot for the most part. Told me I should not know him if I know him, so I don't know him.
Good enough. For future reference, you don't want to just direct people to them, even if they seem to know what they're looking for on that question. But if you say so,
I mean, if someone asks, where is this guy, and I know where the guy is inside of my bar, I'm just gonna say that I don't know where he is. But he told me not to tell you. So, someone asks for if I know where a tiefling is. Yeah, I mean, you're still in my bar.
oh my lord.
Oh, while they're talking, can I get a read on where exactly is Tommy's trademark coin?
In his
Do I
hand,
see it?
he's flipping it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Dun, dun, tch, dun, dun, tch. Same
Have
motion.
you always had that coin?
Oh yeah, I've had this coin since I was a kid. It's one of my very first golds.
Interesting.
It's brought me luck for as long as I can remember. Never go anywhere without it.
What kind of luck?
Well, some people say it's superstitious, but, I've been carrying this thing for so long that, Good times come and good times go, and this coin's been with me through them all.
Many myths revolve around the slums about you and that coin.
I've had a long family. People even say that this
Okay.
tavern was burned down and with me inside of it. But unfortunately, that was my great uncle Joe. He just looked identical to me.
Is that so?
Indeed.
So you're not immortal.
You think I'm immortal? Huh. No, I am so not immortal. You know how lonely of a life that would be?
Maybe you should tell people that you're immortal. It makes it even scarier when you consider, or if you look like your ancestors, you could pass it on for the story of, no, I am not only immortal, but I cannot die.
But you
And
see,
then
if you leave
I
it up to
mean-
mystery, then they'll think that anyways.
It's just like if they can't kill you, then and that would probably make you the most dangerous individual on the planet.
Yeah, but that drives too much unwanted attention. Now, if they think that I'm immortal and they think that they can't kill me, then they just kind of stay away. I'm totally not immortal.
Mhm.
Flip, catch, flip, catch, flip, catch. It's a very consistent noise that you guys are hearing from him flipping and catching, and most of the time it would be grating if not for the fact that he does it in such a perfect sequence over and over again that it starts to become background noise. Any other information you'd like to ask?
I think I'm covered. I'm gonna go chat with our friend up there.
Have fun with that. Maybe you can get him out of my goddamn bar!
I'll see what I can do, but no promises.
Avern?
Carry on.
I just mostly stay like silent as I watch the coin, and like, as the others are leaving, I kind of like follow them, but like glance back occasionally.
Roll me a... Oh, I actually need to look at this. Roll me a... We're going to go with... It's going to be a real... You know what? Roll me a wisdom saving throw, if you would.
Okay. Oh, no.
All right. The two rolls of the day have been a nat 20 and nat 1.
Yeah.
That is... All right. So you look back for a second, and as you do so, and like you're kind of, I assume you're walking with Oliver, kind of with him, and you get about to these stairs, and you look back for a second, right at Tommy, right as he flips the coin, and as it does so, as it flies through the air, it hits a specific glint of light, and it shines into your eyes. You know how like phones can reflect light and stuff like that. It kind of does with this coin. It shines into your light, and you see things in a way that no person ever should. You see something, and you cannot even create this in a non-abstract form. You see something that is so objectively horrifying to you, something that is so old and ancient that it sends a spike of terror through your entire existence, down to your soul, and makes you want to legitimately throw yourself out the window.
Just like immediately like look away and look back at Oliver. Just like,
Is something wrong?
no, nothing. It's fine.
Can I insight?
You're more welcome to, and roll me a deception. Also, you are actively shivering.
Above game, I'm certain I'm going to fail this.
It's very possible. You are also actively shivering.
Ellie's going to insight.
Oh, wow, 4. Oh
Oh.
my god, Everett.
Oh my gosh.
Roll me that insight, Ellie, because, damn. You are, by the way, you are actively shivering and sweating at the same time. Jesus fucking Christ. Your nat 1 is still stronger than them. They cannot tell that you are directly lying from you saying it. You're like, I'm fine, and they're like, well, she sounds like it. You look like someone just shoved a ghost into your body and ripped out your own soul. You are actively shivering and sweating, and without any physical control of your body, your entire body is actively shaking.
Yeah. I mean, considering it's a nat 1, obviously they can tell that like something's very much not fine. They just can't. I just can't imagine that they know why I am suddenly very not fine.
Yeah, you guys can't tell at all why she's like this, but she looks as if somebody just put the absolute fear of God into her soul.
Averin, Syndicate, what happened?
I can't tell you here.
Does
I'm
one of the
like whispering.
Mhm.
Does one of the other patrons have morbidly bad vibes? Just says looking around the room.
Everything here is bad vibes.
You know what? I'm gonna roll Jackson's
Of
insight.
course.
He has a
Well,
plus
obviously,
8.
he
Hold
would
on.
know passively.
He barely manages to keep up. God. He kind of leans over Ellie's shoulder and he's just like, you saw something, didn't you? And I've seen that look before. It's a look only those who've seen madness have.
I hesitantly nod.
Do you want to have a talk about it outside?
Yes.
He'll nod
You need
and
You need to be subtle about it.
easy enough. He kind of nods to you and he looks at Tommy. He's just like, hey, Tommy. Tommy's like, what? He's like, do you want me to break your wall again? Or should I go outside to do it? Tommy looks at him, and you guys can see the sheer look of trying to tell a toddler not to break a wall. And he just goes, go the fuck outside. We have fucking graves for you to beat upon if you want to. Stop hurting my tavern. Chuck's just like, got him. I'm gonna take her with me. Come on. Just kind of hops out the window.
I kind of look around before I I'd be confused about why he chose the window, but I just go along with it.
Shoop. All right. No.
Yeah.
Oliver.
I just passively look at them leaving before turning my attention back to Ellie for a moment, just like, so what do you exactly make of the ongoing status of the war?
Simply as if either side disturbs Mercy or my little forest, no one's going to be safe from me, and I know Jackson will support me in every step of the way. I'm very over this war, and I hope it goes our way rather than anything worse. Because if we can get both sides to just not fight, that'd be great. However, if it somehow affects those that aren't involved in any degree, it'll just make matters worse. Or if we somehow accidentally have a whole race eradicated, or just something doesn't go as we planned as a team. However, with all the secrecy lately with our team and our team members slipping away to do stuff and coming back suddenly and blah blah blah, it's getting exhausting, Oliver. I Just really hope this goes as planned.
At this point, I don't even know what the plan is at this point. Basically, the only thing I've got is disable
Yeah.
one of the elven weapons, but let's be real, even if I do wind up doing that, they're just going to develop another one. This can't be the only solution. We need to have another way to
Yep.
finish this itself.
There's likely 1,000 different solutions to solve this war.
Honestly, let's be let's be satisfied if we can just find one. I don't exactly think that we're
Yeah.
fit to fight gods right now.
Oh,
But facing
likely
them
not.
sounds to be the only real way we're gonna get out of this one.
Well, we have the weapons of war, we have the gods, we have the orcs and elves by themselves that want to fight each other, supposedly without the gods' influence. So,
At this point,
I don't know.
who can say? At this point, but I suppose at this point the only real direction we have at the moment is just buy time until we can find a bigger, better solution. And so that means the best I can do is keep trying to work on this counter illness. All right, let's go. I'll see how the good doctor is doing. He just says with actual finger quotes as he makes that comment of good doctor.
Yep.
I assume you're going to go to Avern and Jackson midway into this, or probably. I don't know.
Are you going to stay with Oliver or go with Aaron?
I mean, either way. Oh no. That was. I just meant it was just like gonna change focus over to Avern and Jackson's conversation. Or
Yeah, Ellie
I
was likely just gonna follow.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna absolutely switch over to him.
Jackson already left, so.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Sorry, I'm really bad at communication today.
You're good. So Jackson takes Avern kind of outside the window, walks, probably about 10, 15 some feet away from the thing, leans against another wall and various other buildings that are around, and he's like, all right, what's up?
Just like lean against a wall and like cross my arms. It's like that coin. I was looking at it as I do. Team expressed interest in it, so I'll express interest in it. But I looked at it and it glinted at me, and I saw something. It's like I saw something that I like shouldn't have, and it beamed that into my mind as it glinted at me. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but if anything's going to be an apocalyptic item, it's that. It's just I don't know how to steal it. He never takes his eyes off it, and
well, you know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
One thief is worse than two. Could probably phrase that better, I guess. 2 thieves are better than 1 is probably a better way of saying that. No, I've never actually been around another thief for long enough to be able to say that sentence. Now I realize why I don't say that sentence.
That's fair.
But yeah, we could team up, try to steal it from him. If you really think it's a item we should steal. I heard stories from Ellie that when Bill found that little hand scythe thing that did some bad stuff to him. So it'd be concerning if you do get a hold of it. Have you thought about that?
I don't particularly care what happens to me. But I'm caring more about the well-being of others. Uh, oh. I figure it might do well for the others if we get a hold of that item.
All right. Well, one of the only ways I can think of is to. So Tommy has a thing where he's been around for a while. He flips that coin constantly, with one exception. That one exception is when he goes into the back to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, he can't use his hands to flip it. That's one of the only times I ever see him. Also, when he's cleaning his glasses, his mugs. So, if we, for example, got a lot of things dirty, or if we were to make him have to eat, to make a lot of food, he would not have his hands on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So, I could start a drinking competition,
That could work.
have a lot of
Start a
food
bit
be
of a
made.
performance.
Indeed.
I got a lot of money on me now, so I could order anything, really.
Indeed.
So then the question is of where he'll put the coin as he's doing those things.
Let me see if he remembers this. Hold on, let me. Both of you roll history. Let's see.
Watch as I get a
His
nat
history.
one.
His history is not that good. It'd be really funny if you rolled a nat one. Well,
So close.
I mean, they're not the worst rolls.
Nat 5's
Yeah,
pretty
wait.
bad, but
Yeah, when the game was started with a nat 20, I was assuming y'all would be getting constantly good rolls today.
no, that's just Bill, man.
Apparently. Was it Bill? It was
Bill's
Bill.
just that
Yeah.
good.
It was just fucking Bill.
Nobody
Goddamn.
else has rolled good today, except technically Jackson earlier. But
I mean, that's the DM playing. I mean, that's never
Yeah.
a good sign. So
Bill's
yeah,
nat 20 took all the luck from the rest of the session.
pretty
pretty
much.
much.
So Jax kind of looks at you and he's just like, I'm fairly confident that he puts it into his right jacket pocket
Mm-hmm.
whenever he's busying with his hands, because he flips it with his right hand. It needs
I
to be
remember
somewhere he
that
can
too.
grab it easily.
Yeah. Do I remember that too? With my
You
slightly
would
better roll.
you would know that you've only seen him do it a couple of times, maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen him put it into his pocket, but you've never seen his hand off of it. You've seen him like having his hands, using both hands, and you've seen without the coin existing. You've also seen him holding the coin in his pocket with his hand in his pocket, but you've never seen him put his hand into his pocket, drop the coin, and then have both hands free. You've never seen that happen. So you're fairly confident, more confident than he is, that it's probably going to be in his right pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could watch him for a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the plan. You're going to be the distraction, and you're going to order drinks and food and whatnot for everyone. Meanwhile, I'm going to use my immaculate powers of stealth, invisibility, and darkness and some such in order to sneak up and just pickpocket and get the coin from him.
Fair warning, he does seem to have a knack for knowing where people are, so be extremely careful when it comes to him. Even invisibility has not done most people wonders around him in the past.
I guess there is the question of whether he can sense magic and whatnot, but there is the fact that, look at my cloak. And I don't make footstep sounds. So
That's true.
I guess
So
there's
hold your
that.
breath.
Exactly.
Would you mind giving me 5 platinum? It'd be kind of suspicious if I started ordering a bunch of money and then had to ask you for money.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll give you it back. Well,
you better.
whatever's left.
Well, whatever's left. Yeah, okay. I give him like the 5 platinum. It's just like
Cool,
do
cool.
well with that now.
You know, it'll be interesting. I'm going to, I'm probably going to have Ellie join me on this because she can drink a horse under the table. So,
Get everyone in on it, except those who can't keep
Everyone.
secrets.
all right. You know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a bar-wide drinking game. We'll try and make him have as many mugs to clean as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you know, we might get... You think we can round up a couple people from a little bit in the slums, be like, I'll pay for your drinks, you know, come on in. Get a little more people in there, make them distracted.
I mean, if you're paying, I mean, so long as they're you know they don't suspect that you're
We'll say that
attempting
we'll
to kill
pay
them.
for 1 or 2 drinks, and they have to pay for the rest, but that's still 1 or 2 drinks free that they get to have. And you know the slums, you know, better than I do. And they'll want those drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And having a lot of people in the bar will make him quite distracted.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's round up a couple of people, maybe 3 from each of us. We'll bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
Play a little drinking game, you know. He knows how I am. As long as I don't throw people into a wall, he'll assume I'm having fun.
Well, that's always good. All right. Whew. Here we go then.
All right. And you two will start moseying on your way to start collecting a couple of people each to start a bar drinking game with. Ellie and Oliver, you guys start walking up to where Dr. Rigor Mortis is currently sitting. He looks up from whatever it is he was doing. You guys really can't tell exactly what he was doing. He was either taking the chicken that was on his plate and dissecting it, or he was studying each of the different pieces. Not quite sure.
Sorry about the interruption, stranger. I don't
Oh,
mean to pry,
hello.
but you have a... I don't mean to pry, but you have the look of an alchemist about you. Might I ask you a couple questions about my research?
You're more than welcome to. You look vaguely familiar, especially you with the pan.
Just place a finger to my mouth. I was just like, no. Don't
Oh.
pretend like we don't know each other, sort of thing.
Yes, complete
I'm
strangers.
Ellie
Feel
Gray
free to sit
again.
at my table. It's the worst acting you've ever heard.
But it's still better than nothing.
That's fair. Well, welcome, complete strangers that I have welcomed onto my table for no reason.
I'm just going to, in a slightly lower voice. So sorry about suddenly turning up out of nowhere again. How have things been going in the slums?
It's been a while since I've seen the two of you. Are you still dying? He looks at Ellie. I'm fairly certain I cured you.
No, I'm doing pretty. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
That's good. It was kind of an experimental dosage, so wasn't entirely sure if I killed you or if I cured you. But
Yeah.
But I mean, it worked. But yeah, the slums. I mean, I've been here for the most part the last couple of days. It's kind of new. It's been a while since I've been up from the depths. I don't know what this is that I'm eating.
Looks like a chicken.
Oh, it's been a while. Does it normally have these floppy thingies?
You
Gestures
mean
to its wings. Yeah.
Functionally, yes, but from what I've seen, they're not particularly useful for much.
Oh.
Even
Well, it is
How
certainly
Do
tasty.
you not know what a chicken is?
I've been down in the depths for a long time. I mostly have just eaten mushrooms lately. And dirt.
How did you survive off of that?
Are you
seriously?
immortal?
I don't know.
I guess that's kind of a dumb question, and I suppose.
I suppose it really depends on how many years one is supposed to live.
I don't see how you'd be able to. Oh,
Aren't
right.
you human?
Ellie, I think I know how you did it. there's a very simple alchemical trick. You convert rotting material back into fully healthy food, nutrients and all. It's a lot simpler of a concoction than you think. Basically, it's like turning back time on a particular piece.
Yeah. I've just been down in the depths for a long while. But yes,
Okay.
I think I'm human.
Above game, let me actually
You're good.
post the spell I'm talking about.
Purified moon rays. Like I'm fairly confident that I'm probably human. It's been a while since anyone ever asked. Actually, it's been a while since I had most communication with something that can speak. How do you define a human?
Do you mean the species or the term that members of humanity tend to use to refer to anything that's sentient?
I was gonna go with the species, as I'm not entirely sure if I am. I haven't opened myself up lately to double check the organs and the placements of them, so...
Let me put it this way. I was born to 2 humans, but I don't exactly classify as one.
Oh. Well then, to answer your question, miss, I might be human. Maybe. Why do you ask?
Just been running into a bunch of immortals lately, so I was just simply curious, especially since you have a sickle that may or may not be a powerful weapon.
Oh, this thing? He, like, grabs a sickle and places it down the table. Both of you roll me will saves. Or wisdom saves.
Of course. Of course. Why'd I have to bring it up? Why'd I have to do that to myself? Why?
Just immediately face plants into the table. For the love of God, please don't do that.
Nat fucking 20.
Don't steal the nat 20s. I need those.
I love how this is the second time that Ellie has succeeded against this. This is the second time Oliver has failed.
Never gonna get me.
It's like, oh, your friend appears to have face planted.
For the love of God, please don't pull
That's
that thing out here.
because. Can you put the sickle away, please? It has a powerful ability to make people bow to it.
Oh, yeah, sure. He kind of puts it back on his hilt and you immediately feel fade away. Had for a long time.
Raise himself back up.
Didn't realize that affected other people. It keeps trying to affect me, and I just kind of look at it weirdly, and after a while it stops.
I can't decide if I want to say I'm impressed or terrified by that prospect.
Frankly, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I've been exploring with some of the bodies down below. I found them fascinating, by the way. Don't know if you had any luck with the blood that I gave you, but yeah, I started working with a little bit of it. Came up here, saw that a lot of people were having some troubles with exploding, which was fascinating to watch, by the way. I got like several people's brains all over me. It's pretty fascinating.
Please don't tell me about those details. I'm more than willing to give you the treatment that I was able to decipher for it. But
The treatments. Oh, I'm surprised you made one. I was planning on just watching it, to be honest. It's fascinating when you get to, like, carve them open. Still have yet to find a body that is, like, almost all the way there, but not quite exploded yet. I would probably need to kill someone to do that, honestly. Most people die after they get to that
please
stage.
Please stop talking about the gritty details. I'm really not into that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have not talked with another person for a long time.
I can tell. But on the subject
Do you not
of
normally
the,
dissect things?
I certainly don't dissect people.
Oh. Is that weird? If you donate your body to me, I'd totally dissect you.
Not until after I'm already dead by something else, preferably.
Yeah, I suppose that
That's a
does
bit
put a hamper
weird.
on my problems.
Anyway,
On the subject of the illness, though,
Mhm.
I'm on the basis for some level of an idea for a more permanent solution to it, but it's going to
Have
be
you
a little bit more
tried?
dubious.
Have you
He
tried
just
watching
says to
someone who's
Retief.
dead and injecting them with a cure?
That kind of seems counterintuitive at that point.
I mean,
I
if
am
they're
going to
dead, they
need
can't
that.
tell you to stop. And they can't tell you to stop, you can watch as it... Well, sometimes it works. Sometimes takes away their disease. Sometimes disease gets worse. Still
You know
trying to
you
figure that
can-
one out.
You know you can run that experiment with the illness outside of their body.
Oh. I normally just do it with the illness in their body, because it's already there, I don't have to take it out, you know?
I'm just gonna get to my question. Just gesture as closer to drop its head closer to the table, because this is a very dubious topic.
Kind of folds his hands together and leans across the table, seeming to get a little bit more serious.
How much experience do you have with making illnesses?
A significant quantity. Why?
I found an alchemical makeup that should have a very strong and violent response to being in the body at the same time as the illness, dormant or not. I'm
Fascinating.
essentially planning to just infect everyone with an illness that is about as deadly as the common cold, and then just essentially let that practically give them immunity to the actually dangerous infection.
So you're telling me that you want me to create the illness with you that doesn't kill people?
I've already got the basic elemental makeup in mind. Just have a couple more basic components to make sure I actually have the right materials to make this sort of thing.
Well, I've
And
never
then from
tried
there,
making one that doesn't kill people. I've made a lot of diseases that do kill people. Actually, it's quite useful in order to create a counter disease, but, I suppose I can help you with that.
Yeah, do you know how to tweak an illness to cause an individual to uncontrollably sneeze?
I have never tried it with sneezing before. Now, spewing out blood, I mean, that one's easy. I've done it a couple of times now, but sneezing, I might be able to, it might be a little bit harder.
I need to find a way to spread this illness through the air, and causing a violent exhalation seemed like the best way to do it at this point.
Yeah, that could work. You could spread it through the air, you could even spread it through saliva, as sometimes a more effective way to do it. Or even the war mane.
Why through saliva? Do people really spit on each other that much here?
When you punch someone in the face, usually they spit.
I think I'll stick with air. I think I'll stick with air.
Well, nonetheless, it'd be best to not have a disease that could possibly kill people, especially if we're trying to keep it within the Citadel walls, because
Wait.
we really
Are
don't
you
need...
trying to create a disease that doesn't mutate?
I'm trying to make sure it's stable enough that if it does mutate, it shouldn't cause anything too crazy.
That's a little bit harder, my good sir.
I know. And I have a
I mean,
basic.
and you're saying this is a runoff of an already created disease?
More along the lines of creating a new disease using a strongly opposing alchemical makeup from for the baseline.
Oh, that makes that much easier. If you took the original disease and then made a runoff from that disease, then you're mutating that disease so it would more frequently mutate as long as it's a virus, not a fungal disease. If you wanted to make a fungal disease, I'm real good at that. It's been a long time learning to do that. But if you want to make a virus that doesn't mutate, that's going to be slightly harder. But if you want to make a virus that mutates just a little bit.
From my research, the primary thing that makes viruses is problematic is the fact that they do mutate out of control.
Yeah, that tends to be the issue. Sometimes common cold can make some people fall down dead from aneurysm. It's a difficulty of the job. Fungal infections are a lot more stable, but they are, generally speaking, deadly. I could make a fungal one, though.
We'll just have to figure this one out in somewhere along the lines. Preferably, I'd like something that I'd like to make something that has very as low fatality rates as we can possibly make it. Preferably have it, as I mentioned, no more deadly than the common cold at worst.
I could maybe help you with that. Might take me a couple of days. Maybe a week. Maybe a week. Probably kind of difficult.
I'm mostly just looking for an additional mind to assist with the research process here.
Oh, that's way easier than me making it. Yeah, I can help you with that.
Perfect. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to ask. This one, not really as vital, but I've had a lot of people asking me about the actual act of building, of actually, more longer term bodily transformations lately. I don't suppose. I'm starting to wonder if this is just something that. I'm certain that's a dubious question, but at this point, it's come up enough that I'm starting to wonder if I should be dedicating some level of study to this. What do you know of the homunculus experiment from a few hundred years ago?
Ooh, not a whole lot. I played around with it a little bit. Actually, I helped with some playtesting of that a little while after it was created. Not really sure how long after. You said it was a couple hundred years ago. Not sure how long ago, but I kind of playtested with it a little bit. But most of my habits tend to be fungal, so I didn't really get to use it that much.
I'm just nervous about how bringing it up because it was one of the pinnacle studies that got most of the alchemists into a whole lot of trouble around that point.
I never had any issues with it.
I mean, from what I'd read, basically every one of the creations had a series. Actually, this. While they did almost all appear mostly human, there was some very messed up things about all of them, and nearly all of them died very quickly and very painfully. And they all had very, very unusual indulgences according to the records I read.
Interesting. Just sounds like a slightly more complicated version of a human.
Yeah, that was basically the experiment. It was an experiment to try and see if you could create a human using alchemy.
Oh.
And it didn't go very well, and when the time came that some of the alchemists started turning to more unscrupulous methods of study, let's just say the vast majority of alchemists on the planet basically either stopped studying it or got arrested, or they had a whole lot of new laws placed on top for how alchemy is supposed to be worked that are still very strongly followed today.
Well, if it helps, I don't listen to any of those laws, so I could probably help you with that too. I would have to find my old research notes. I played with a lot of bodies back then. Probably hard to find. But you know, I don't actually know any of the laws that are currently going, so no worries about that.
They're pretty similar to your traditional setup of doctor's rules. Those being you have to try your hardest to actually assist the person, and that you're not allowed to actually do anything to that person if they are not willing to indulge you.
Oh. Man, I broke so many of those laws then. Well, glad I can help you. We'll see what I can get done. I have my own room here, so I have it's exciting. But yeah, no, I can probably help you, youngin. So weird to call you youngin. I don't know what the verbiage up here is.
Let's just go. How about that? At the moment, I think it's probably easiest if people think I'm dead right now anyway.
Yeah, alright. I mean, you look... Well, actually, I don't know if you look alive to me. Been a while since I've dealt with live people. I guess you look alive to me. Although I could probably kill you very easily.
I'd appreciate if you didn't.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say someone up on the surface is trying to blame me for the fact that this illness exists. And
Well, if it helps, if you ever need for them to believe that you are dead, I can shove a knife through your chest. I am surgically verified.
You know, every time I talk to you, I'm more and more concerned about the fact that you qualify as a doctor.
Yeah, I don't actually know what it takes to be qualified as a doctor, so, whatever it was when I started, I did, and then, well, that was in the depths for a while.
Fair enough. Sorry for bothering you. I'll give you some space to finish your looking down at the chicken meal.
Oh, it's not a problem. And he just starts picking at the different pieces. He's like, takes out a rib bone and he's like, such small ribs. I wonder how they function.
Just
Is
as I'm
weird.
sorry. Just as I'm passing by, Ellie's just like, "Hi, this is a horrible idea." I just mutters to her as I just keep going.
Alright, cool. So that is about where we're going to be ending it for tonight. And so if you guys are interested in watching this, we'll be coming back in about a week. I believe, Rowena, if I remember correctly, you're not going to be here on the 27th or the 3rd, if I recall correctly.
Correct. I will not be here the 27th, and then if I am here the 3rd, it'll be like the last hour.
Okay, so we'll probably have Rowena be on the march, on the walk, or she'll be inside the Citadel itself by those 2 weeks, and so we'll see what happens. For the rest of you guys, we'll see all of you guys back here next week at 7 p.m. PST on Friday if nothing else changes, and hopefully you had a fun time. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you guys are interested in seeing what is going to happen inside this fucking bar, feel free to tune in. All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.